Alright guys, welcome to Tailgate Talks. I'm Spencer.
I'm Vinny.
And today we're going to talk while sitting next to a tailgate. So, today, what do you want to talk about, Vinny?
I want to talk about the new, really ugly Corvette.
Oh God, we don't really need to get started on that, do we?
Yes, we do.
Alrighty, well.
We knew it was coming.
Alright,
The new 2020 Corvette is the end of the American muscle for Chevy. They ruined the Camaro, they ruined the Silverado, and they finally just tripled it all off and ruined the Corvette.
When we thought it couldn't get any worse,
Yeah.
mind you, we were like, we knew it was coming. We all knew the mid-engine Corvette was coming. We had seen it for years, just the teasing since the early 2000s with the mid-engine Corvette.
Don't get me wrong, I love mid-engine cars. I'm all about the Porsches and the Lambos and the Ferraris.
But you gotta leave America, America.
Leave
and
American
America's
muscle.
front engine, rear wheel, in your face, fuck you, horsepower.
Yes. So the fact that the Corvette is trying to be in the mid-engine kind of group, it's just hard for me to wrap my head around because I've seen the Corvette like how it is for so many years. It's what, 65 plus years, 66 years now?
It's been, I think it's probably been going.
I think 66 years because I think it was 50.
50 something was when they made the first one.
Yeah.
56, I think.
The C1 was beautiful. C2 is beautiful. They're all front engine, rear wheel drive cars. So when they go and they change the whole setup of the car is just weird. Like,
the only way they can make a mid-engine car, I feel, good is if they put a dual clutch transmission in the vehicle.
Yeah.
And has it been released yet if they're doing that or not? I know they're talking about like, weren't they going to mash up with Porsche on a transmission?
I don't know. The only thing I've seen from the Corvette were the little teaser pictures of them driving around with that weird wrap on them.
Well, they finally confirmed it is mid-engine.
It is mid-engine,
and
yeah,
they
it
are
is confirmed.
confirming it's going to get released in
July,
I think 3 months.
July 11th.
July 11th is when they're going to release that car. So we will finally see the final production.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see the lines on the vehicle. I'm not excited that they made it mid-engine. I understand that the way that a mid-engine vehicle puts down power, can handle a track, is better than the front engine.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
I think Chevy's already proved that they have a lot on the table. I mean, with the ZR1 coming out, last year, right?
Oh, the ZR1.
The ZR1 came out and it killed the
ZR1.
Viper and the GT on the track.
It did.
And so you know what this mid-engine is going to do. It is going to have to be faster.
Did they set times around the Nürburgring?
With the
ZR1 yet?
The ZR1? Or the mid-engine?
No, the ZR1.
The ZR1 guy, they released the numbers on the ZR1 before they released the car.
Did they?
They did.
Wow.
Because it was faster. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It broke
I don't remember
records.
off the top of my head what the time was.
I don't remember either. But I do remember it was faster than the Viper.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess we'll see how they turn out. We'll see what they're going to be priced at. Did they release any power numbers yet or no?
Nope, no power numbers.
So they haven't released anything yet?
Nothing like that.
Okay, so I guess we'll see how they manage to do that.
My question is, do you predict it's going to be more than the ZR1, or do you think it's going to be at the same level of the ZR1?
You talking about cost or power?
Power. We can already assume the cost is going to be more because of the engineering that went into making this.
Yeah, the cost is going to be more. I'm going to say power. Seeing I'm going to go based off the hypercars, like the Porsche 918, the LaFerrari, the P1. Those are, I think they sit around between 750 and 900 horsepower.
Well, I mean, the ZR1 just came out, and that's 750 something.
Yeah, but I'm talking strictly mid-engine cars, like how they're trying to base themselves off of.
But they're gonna have to be. My thing is, they're either gonna have to be on par with the ZR1 or better.
Yeah.
So that means we're looking between 750 and 800 horsepower, more than likely.
For sure.
If it's more than that, I'd be way surprised.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna take my guess on the new mid-engine mid-engine Corvette horsepower is gonna be in the neighborhood of 800 horsepower.
I feel comfortable with that too.
800, 810.
But it doesn't just depend on the horsepower. It's how it's going to put that power to the ground. Is this going to be all-wheel drive? Is this going to be front-wheel drive? Or is this going to be a sort of weird split? We're going to have to figure all this out.
If it's mid-engine, I'm assuming it's going to be all-wheel drive.
It's going to have to be all-wheel drive.
So I'm kind of excited to see how they do it. I'm just not excited to the fact that it's changing 60 years of history with American muscle.
But it might be bringing in a new era of car.
It could.
But that also being said, you have those hard asses like me that are set in our old school ways, and we kind of like the old school front engine, rear wheel,
like me.
break them loose and have fun.
I'm not a big fan of change, so I like something to stay as it is.
You'd say you're not a big fan of change.
I'm not a big fan of change. I mean, I like keeping things the same. Like I like changing body style, like when they change the look of it, but don't change the whole soul of the car.
Oh shit! They're gonna have to put a V8 in it. Oh wait, no, they don't have to. Most of them are doing twin turbo V6s, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see that in a mid-engine Corvette like that. I hope they stick to their old school V8 6.2 liter roots. But also being said, I don't see them having the room for that in the
They
car.
already ruined the Raptor with putting it in a V6. I can't believe they put a V6 in a Raptor like that. I love the Raptor with the 6.2 V8.
But we're proving that you can get just as good performance with less weight.
Yeah,
and
better
I
gas
think
mileage.
Chevy is going to put their nose past that. I think if they were smart, they would do a twin turbo or a supercharged V6 that can put out the horsepower and a power to weight ratio that's more. I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, but like
more efficient.
I guess more efficient than what a V8 is. I mean, a V8's 12 miles to the gallon, and I mean, I think they said the Hellcat can empty its tanks in 12 minutes if you hold your foot to the floor the whole time.
I think so.
And that's ridiculous. I mean,
I mean, it's fun, but it's expensive.
I mean,
not everyone's made of money.
But if you're buying the car, you have the money to put the gas in it.
Not always.
You should.
I know a lot of people who buy like the Lamborghinis. They immediately go and sell them because of the maintenance costs. Because they don't think about people don't think about that.
Yeah.
They go and buy the car like, oh, I can afford the sticker price. They don't think long term. They don't know that a Lamborghini oil change costs like $2,000. They don't know a Lamborghini clutch job costs
Isn't the Bugatti
$8,000.
oil change like $3,000?
A Bugatti oil change costs $25,000.
You are fucking with me.
A Bugatti oil change costs more than my Hemi.
God damn, that's more than this truck.
Yeah, that's more than both of our trucks combined.
Nah, with the modifications you got, I guess it makes it worth it to lease a Bugatti, but it wouldn't make it worth it to own a Bugatti.
Not even that, because lease you still got to pay for the maintenance.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
They don't pay for you.
Fuck that.
It's their car, but it's your responsibility to pay for it when it breaks.
I think that brings us into a good point of talking into the 2019, 2020 new trucks that got released.
New trucks get released.
Because if you look at it, I mean, pickup trucks.
The trucks, yes.
They ruined them.
I wouldn't say ruined. They ruined them with some of them. The new Ram 1500, the 5th gen, honestly, the Limited looks amazing with all the nice LEDs and the DRL lights and all that. I don't like the taillights too much. The headlights look great. Going down in the models, like the Bighorn and the regular, they look like Tundras. They really look like Toyota Tundras.
What's that new engine they're making? The hybrid engine. It's like it's a 5.7 Hemi, but it also has an electric motor.
Oh, the electric motor, yeah. I know. With the new Hemis, what they do is when they go to eco mode, because I know with mine, when it goes in the eco mode, it shuts off, I think, 1 or 2 cylinders.
It's going to shut off 4, actually.
It's going to shut off 4 this year.
No, it's been shutting off 4. I remember on my 2007 Dodge Ram, it has an eco mode as well, and it cuts off 4 cylinders.
It does cut off 4?
It does cut off 4.
Okay.
And I do know the 2014 Silverado also cut off 4.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that this would also cut off 4.
Yeah.
This doesn't. This is V8 24/7.
Yeah.
Which absolutely sucks.
I know mine cuts. I always thought it cut off 2 and went down to a 6, but maybe it does go down to a 4. I don't know for sure.
It cuts into a 4.
Does it?
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I love the exterior. The interior on the Limited Rams are beyond gorgeous. I love the new 12-inch touchscreen display.
But the problems they've been having.
Yes, Dodge is definitely known for their electrical troubles. I know in my truck, I'm always having problems with my radio, trying to get things to connect, things to work right.
It was almost kind of laughable at them at first because they were so hardcore on like making sure they were the first ones out on lots, and it like you saw like they were pushing the assembly too far. Because if you looked, there were some trucks online I saw that were complaining, like owners that bought the brand new trucks like before they were even released, and they got their trucks and like half the trim on the truck was chrome and half the trim on the other side.
It almost seems like they were focusing on getting out before everybody else, and they ended up rushing things too hard.
There's a thing that says you can only push your quantity so far before you give up your quality.
Yeah.
And so what I think they did was they pushed quantity out too fast, and they couldn't keep up, you know, with the quality of the vehicle. And it kind of suffered a little bit. They were quick to get out, and then they had to release a bunch of software updates to the car as well, I'm pretty sure.
I know. Even my truck, I had a lot of software updates to do.
Again, that's why I like old school. I got a stupid brain in this thing. All it does is going to tell me if I fucked something up.
Yeah, exactly.
But
another thing that leads me into a lot of things that going after the release is the new Teslas.
lot to cover.
Okay, let's keep covering trucks.
I mean,
we'll come back to Teslas.
We can go with the Chevy. They redesigned the whole truck.
Oh, God.
And they've had these same mirrors on the Silverado, I think, since like the 80s. Like, I'm pretty sure with a 2001 Silverado, you can throw on 2018 mirrors, and it'll fit just fine.
There are still some waterfall parts for the Rams. I know the bumper lights are waterfall from like 99.
But it's
some of the suspension parts I think are waterfall too.
But I mean, they took something where everybody was like, "Oh, it's great. You can take any mirror off any Chevy and it'll fit any other Chevy truck." And it's now they've changed it to a point where it's like, if that mirror breaks, you only have that.
Yeah,
like,
you're buying
buy another Chevy mirror.
So it ups your maintenance costs if something does end up breaking.
And see, what I've noticed is a lot of companies are doing little touches like that. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but like the Demon has the Demon on the windshield, like in the black, and it has it rolling smoke.
Yep. Because it makes it to where if you break your windshield, you have to go back to the dealer
and buy another Dodge
their windshield because it won't.
How much more do you think you're paying for that little sticker?
Maybe a couple $100.
Probably.
Because knowing dealerships, they're like, oh, we're the only person who can do this. Let's up the charges.
That's how
it's like the simple smart key thing. You can buy a key anywhere, but only dealerships can program it. That's why I'm spending $300 to go get a new key for this thing. That's why I haven't done it.
Mine costs $20 a day.
Okay, well yours is still an old-fashioned key. Mine is a computer. But yeah, I just don't like the new look of the Silverados.
You know, one thing that really just, like, I hate to say this, but grinds my gears. I really hate, and like, I know your truck has it, but I hate that knob shifter. I love the old school, like, reach up, slam it into a gear.
Yeah.
And like, you know what gear you're in. I feel like with that, how difficult would it be for a passenger to just look at it and not think twice, or while you're driving, not think twice, reach down and flip that?
I've actually done it before.
And I know they put a safety switch.
It does have a safety thing. I went real quick to shut off my radio, and once I felt it turn and click like harder than the radio, my heart just sunk, and I'm like, oh, there goes my transmission. But I stopped myself before I got all the way to park. It actually went to reverse, and it came up on the dash, and it went bing, 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 and it said vehicle speed too high for reverse, override to neutral, and it started rolling, and I actually had to pull over to the side of the road, put it in park, and then put it back in drive. It wouldn't let me go back to.
See, I don't like that. I would like it where it just go right back into drive. Pause on a T-note. What's up with you going full Trump there? Bing, 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 bing. But I mean, like, all right. So the safety you have on your transmission is similar to the one I have in this, because I remember I used to work in a place and it was a 2000 F-150 that we were using for the work truck, and it had a shit ton of miles. But I remember one day me and the guy I was working with. We were driving around the airport, and he threw it in park, and we were still rolling, and I heard the transmission just start going, and I thought, like, oh fuck, like, we just totaled this transmission on this work truck. We're gonna have to tell the boss.
Yeah.
And I ended up Googling it, and the transmissions have a safety feature even on this truck, where if I'm driving and I throw it into a different gear, it'll click instead of it'll slow the truck down. But it'll just click.
Oh, so it's probably
it won't engage the gear.
It's probably something like a reverse centrifugal clutch.
Probably something
like that. So
it's
spinning, and it has the gear out until it's slow enough to actually lock it into the park gear. Okay, I can see how that would work.
But that's on these old school trucks.
Yeah.
Your new school, I don't know what's going on. That might be the computer telling
everything's probably computer holding everything up until it's probably at zero.
Also, side note that I really hate is that all vehicles are now required to have auto stop.
Are you serious?
Even trucks, your Silverado, your Ram, when you come up to the stop sign or a stoplight and you sit for more than 20 seconds, will shut off.
Nope.
And that's required by EPA laws.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. And every time you get in your truck, you have to hit the switch to turn that off.
I know, though, on the Ford trucks.
Yeah.
There's an aftermarket company that you can go in and you can program it to automatically turn it off until you push the button. So it reverses the switch so you can turn it on if you want to.
I've seen that, and then I've also seen, like, where we're getting back to talking about where it's cutting off cylinders. I've read reports where that actually, like, decreases your gas mileage, and some people buy, like, these $800 tuners that they plug into their Chevys or Dodges, and it disables you from going into the eco mode.
Does it?
And I heard that you get better gas mileage without going into the eco mode. I'm not too sure about that.
I can see it as that going both ways, because it's trying to, like, when you get back on the gas after eco mode, it's probably working a little bit more to get those cylinders back firing.
Yeah.
So it probably does use a little bit more gas to go back into those, but it's only going to be a fraction of a second.
I can see it where it'd be useful in like the mountains where it's dropping into V4 every time you're going down a hill and then dropping back into V8 when you're coming up the hill.
Yeah.
I could see that being useful there. I mean, in Florida we're flat.
Yeah.
So
all flat.
Once we get on highway and set, it drops into V4.
The biggest hill we have is the overpass on the turnpike.
We only have one mountain in Florida, and it's
up north.
Space Mountain.
I've never had that. Space Mountain.
So I mean, if we're gonna talk trucks, and we already talked about hybrid engines on trucks.
Yeah.
We talked about how torquey they are. How about we just go full electric and talk about the new Tesla Model Y?
Let's talk about the new Tesla and how I was talking about how they disappoint with their releases. Everybody knows. If you follow Tesla, everybody knows they promise more than they can deliver. I think every single model of Tesla right now is on back order. Is on ridiculous back order.
I mean, probably. I find it crazy with the fact that some people are willing to go to a company with a concept car that they release, like the Tesla Roadster, and they said you can purchase this car. It's going to require a $50,000 down payment, and we'll build you the car. And that was over a year ago. I'm pretty sure they did that.
I think it was either over a year or it's probably just coming up.
It's probably just but. Needless to say, they took $50,000 from all those people, and they haven't received a car yet, have they?
That's $50,000 that I could use for literally anything else.
Well, I mean, wait, let's be honest. You didn't put the $50,000.
Okay, well, okay. Let's put into a scenario that I had $50,000 to drop on a car that I'm gonna get in. They say what, 3 years?
Probably, I think so. Is what they said.
That $50,000 could have gone to literally anything else, but it's sitting on a car.
I'm sorry I can't pay for your college this semester, but man, I'll take you in that Tesla when it comes
honestly.
out.
But like, it's going to sit on a car that they promised 3 years, and then they start saying it's probably going to be 4 years now, probably 5 years. Oh, something happened. It's going to be 6 years now. Like,
and you know what kills me about Tesla is one of the biggest complaints I heard was once you drop out of warranty, you might as well buy a new car.
Yeah.
Because all these people are complaining that they can't work on the Teslas themselves. Yep. There's no mechanic that would be willing to work on a Tesla.
You got to go straight to the dealership.
So you have to go to the delership, and they gouge you. And like some people are saying it's like $5,000 for a new window motor or some shit like that on their Teslas. Like there was a guy who had what's the one with the gull wing doors?
The Model X.
The Model X. He had a Model X, and the gull wing stopped working and had fallen out of warranty. And they told him, like, sorry, bud, nothing we can do about it unless you're paying us $10,000 a door.
Oh, my. A door?
A door.
Oh,
a door.
God, that's nuts.
He was like, oh, no, I'll fix it myself. And he was an engineer, and he was enough to backwards engineer their parts and to rebuild them.
Nice.
But, I mean, other than that, you
can make a good business out of that.
Remember that guy who's on YouTube? He has his own YouTube channel. He was like, oh, my Tesla needs new tires. And he took it into the dealership, and he just bought a new car anyways.
I don't remember that.
Ugh, it was funny as shit.
But now I know, don't get me wrong, I love Tesla. I think what they do is fantastic. They're changing the whole.
I think it's come out too quick. I think if this came out in another 5-10 years, I mean, it was gonna have to start somewhere, right?
It was, yeah.
But I feel like they haven't delivered yet on their promises. And I felt like they've always fallen short of the line. Don't get me wrong, their cars are torquey and they are fast and they are futuristic and everything about them is amazing.
I've ridden in a Model S. I've actually driven a Model S, the P90D. So I didn't drive the full ludicrous model.
Okay.
But that car was very unique to drive. It drove really weird. It actually had what it is when you let off the gas, it not a lot, but you can feel it. It actually starts braking by itself.
Yeah.
And this
doesn't it have the regenerative braking?
The regenerative braking, it charges your batteries.
Yeah.
But it was really weird. It's almost like it's kind of like driving when you're driving a manual and you let off and it pulls.
Or you downshift or something like that.
Yeah, no, not even downshift. Like when you just let off in a gear and it kind of sets back on the gear. It's a weird feeling to see that it starts stopping itself, and I thought that was just the coolest thing in the world.
I really like how their display is so user-friendly and stuff like that. How it connects with Google Earth and stuff. I do appreciate that.
You can literally go on Google and look things up.
You can't beat that. I mean, there is some stuff I'm sure that is better. out there.
Well, yeah, but
I mean,
haven't found it yet.
Yeah, Tesla's been pretty much killing it electronics-wise.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
and it's not hard to see why. I mean, the guy can put.
He can put a car in space. He can. He's building rocket ships. He's building flamethrowers. He started off as a computer programmer.
Yeah, you're right. But the thing that's killing me is like this new Tesla they've made, right? And I mean, I know it's unfair to compare Tesla to a gas engine because it is electric. But I mean, let's compare it to the best of the best, right? So like the Tesla Model Y, like from the pictures I can see, it kind of looks like a little bit of elongated BMW Model X.
Yeah.
And the BMW Model X, I remember I've sat in one in the back seat, and I remember just sitting in there with my head kind of cocked sideways, thinking this thing doesn't have any headroom.
Yeah, because they're the
way the hood slant is, and they're saying that you can get an optional third row of seats in the Model Y.
Oh, I think meant the X6.
No, in the Model Y.
The Model Y, okay.
And it's just a little bit of a longer version, and it kind of has that same like roof slope.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, how much headroom is going to be in that back seat?
Yeah, because I know with the Model X kind of flows with it, so you have headroom, and then it just cuts down in the back. So it gives you your enough headroom to where you're not sitting like this in like a back of a Mustang.
I remember I had a friend with a Camaro, and I got in the back seat of that for a ride home one day, and I had my boots cranked over to the side, my head like this, and I was like, all right, let's go home, bro.
I sat in the back of a 5.0 Mustang. It was an hour drive, and I was sitting like this.
Oof.
God, it was the most uncomfortable ride I ever had. And not to mention, the seat
is in your knees.
Was right here, so I had to be like that. It was uncomfortable.
Oh, I remember back seats of those types of cars is horrible, and that's one of those main reasons like people don't buy those cars. But let's be honest, if you're buying a car like
people buy those cars for two
people.
Fun. Yeah,
it's for fun.
You're not meant to go on road
trips. You ain't got your family, and you're like, all right, kids, we're going to go to school today.
Yeah.
And you throw them in the back seat of your Camaro, and you go flying down the road.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's not happening. The Tesla's self-driving system. How do you feel about that?
Tesla alone or everyone's self-driving? So I know there's a couple other companies that release self-driving.
There is.
I know Lexus did. I'm pretty sure BMW did. And I'm
Mercedes did as well. And Mercedes, I think they had like the camera that looks at you. That way it can tell if your eyes are off the road.
Mercedes have been doing that for years though. That's not something new. Because I know on the 2011 S63 that I drove, that one had the
front-facing camera?
The drowsiness. I don't think it was a camera. It was more. It probably was a camera. I don't know where it's positioned, but I actually tested it out. I made it seem like I was falling asleep, and it made a bunch of noise, and it came up. Actually, a little coffee mug symbol came up on the dashboard.
Oh, God bless Mercedes.
Yeah. So that was actually kind of cool system, but it's nothing new. That's been going for years.
But how do you feel about self-driving systems in general? Let me ask that.
In general, self-driving systems. Very cool, very unique, something I really want to try one day, but I feel like it needs a lot of work.
I don't trust them. I gotta be honest, I don't like them either.
Really?
Again, I'm old school. I believe that if you're gonna drive a vehicle, you want the experience of driving the vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't want the vehicle to drive itself. I can understand where it comes in handy, like on the highways and shit. Like I would hate to have to do that stop-go crap in California, like getting bad traffic. Same thing down here in Miami. You get in that stop-go traffic, and the whole time you're just thinking to yourself, like, man, this would be great if it did it itself.
Yeah.
I can understand where it comes into use there, but I feel like I wouldn't use the self-driving aspect as much as everybody else does.
Yeah.
Just out of the fact I enjoyed the act of driving.
Yeah, everybody enjoys driving.
Also, you gotta admit, it's fun as crap when you see one of those people on the highway with their Tesla and they just reach up, grab the wheel every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's fun as crap to cut them off and start braking, to watch like the autopilot start braking with you.
Well, I don't do that. You're just an asshole.
Well yeah, obviously. It's fun to like see the technology though.
Oh yeah, no.
That it works.
I love what, like I know earlier I said I'm not a big fan of change. Technology, I'm exempt from. I love new technology.
And that's where we're different, because I hate it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to drive the vehicle, let me drive the vehicle. Don't tell the vehicle, like when you have traction, like your truck has traction control, right?
Yes.
And it's like every time I get in your truck, you let me drive it every once in a while. I go to drift a corner, you go, oh, traction control is enabled. This truck here, it's like they trust you to know the limit of the truck. So it's like, you want to spin tires, but you know the limit. Like whatever you're comfortable doing, and that's what I appreciate. I don't like the computer telling me, no horsepower yet.
Not today.
And like how the newer vehicles, they limit horsepower and limit red lines with their first 500 miles and shit.
My truck has a 4,000 rev limiter.
On park.
Park and neutral, yeah.
I can red line. That's all day.
But then again, helps me not blow a rod through my block, because these engines aren't made to rev that high with no load on them.
They can.
They can, but not excessively.
Define excessively. Every day?
I would consider that. Not every day, but maybe a couple times a day.
That's excessive. I would say like once every few days isn't excessive.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be wrong. I understand the system. It's just I'm against it personally. I like being connected to the truck. I like being connected to the road.
Well, yeah, but for me, there's a line. But if I'm in a Hellcat or a Mustang, I'm gonna be connected. That's why I love the manual transmission, just banging gears. I love being in control of cars that are made to be in control of.
Yeah.
But with your family sedans, your family SUVs, going on road trips, that could be something that I would be okay with the computer taking control. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to sit there and have a control and then fall asleep for an hour.
Well, it won't let you if you fall asleep.
Yeah, I know that. Well, that's why Tesla, they have you touch the steering wheel, make sure you're still awake and breathing.
Yeah.
I know there was one guy who did the test when it asked you to respond, and he just kind of sat there.
I saw that, and it pulls the car over.
It doesn't pull the car over.
It slows it down, doesn't it?
It stops in the middle of the road. So Tesla.
That sounds real smart. Like, hey, you're asleep, so we're just gonna park you right here in the middle of this highway.
What they should do is they should make it to where they should pull off, because I know it reads the line. They should make it to where it should
can pull on the shoulder.
It should read the shoulder, because I know with the road laws, it's a yellow line on the left and white line on the right.
Well, have you seen the debate with the self-driving is like, if you see a baby and an old person crossing the road, which one does the car like swerve to hit? If they're walking towards each other, right? They're taking up 2 lanes, right?
Pretty sure it has
the whole... It will stop itself. Don't get me wrong. Wait, it'll stop itself. But I'm saying, like, if it can't stop itself...
It's going to swerve to hit someone.
If it can't
First off, let's go back to that. Why is a baby crossing the road alone? Someone needs to go back and find that parent.
Well, screw the parent, man. Obviously, it's abandoned the baby.
Oh my
Baby's
God.
just fighting for survival at this point.
My God.
But do you kill the old lady or the baby?
You don't kill anyone. It should have a 180. I'm pretty sure.
What if it can't stop, though? In theory, like, let's say it's coming around a blind turn. Can't see. On the other side of that turn, there's a baby and an old lady crossing the street. Which one's it hitting?
Needs to have.
Which one's it going to hit?
It needs to have. No, it shouldn't hit anyone. It needs to have enough braking power to stop instantly.
The answer's wrong. You drift and hit both.
There's another difference between us.
More 6 sense of humor.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we also have do you want to hit the GT500?
Yes.
I don't know a lot about the GT500.
I know a little bit about the GT500.
I hate that I say that because I am the Ford guy.
Yeah.
But I really
don't
care. The
Dodge guy knows more about the Ford.
I don't care about the GT500s.
I'm a big fan. I always say I'm a Dodge guy. I joke on Mustangs, like, oh, Mustangs are crowd killers. I love Mustangs. Mustangs, I think they're really sleek looking. I love the new cat eye.
My problem with it, they lost me when they got rid of the fog lights and the grille. That's when they lost me. And I hate to say that, but it's been a tradition since the 60s.
It has.
You look back to the 69 Mustang, they had the fog lights in the grille.
Yeah.
And it was when they finally did away with that, I kind of was like, this is where the brand's going to go down. And don't be wrong, they've made beautiful cars since then. And I appreciate the vehicles for what they are. Mm-hmm. I just like having like I said, I'm old school and set in my ways.
Old school, yep.
And I really like the fog lights in the grill. They do make like an aftermarket grill that has the LEDs in them, or like a halo in them.
They do, yeah, they do make those.
Again, but it's not stock. Mm-hmm. Why can't it be stock?
It kind of just makes you, if you want it, you gotta go buy extra, which is everybody's
gonna mod.
Everybody's project car who say it's done, it's not done.
So, you know what else is interesting? Like, I don't know if you know this about like the Mustangs in general, but you know the ones that say the GT on the back are the 5.0s, and then the ones that have the pony?
Yep, are the V6.
Are the V6s and the V4s.
I knew that.
See, a lot of people don't know that, which is interesting. I mean, again, we're car guys, so I expect us to know that.
You know what's funny, though? Is, like, I've always had in the back of my mind, like, if you're not a car guy, do you, like, can you just look at a car and be like, that's that? Like, me being a car guy all my life, I actually, fun fact, when I was 2 years old, I was on a bike ride with my mom, and I was in the little backseat cubby, and my mom was pedaling, and we were with a bunch of her friends and some family, and I would literally point out because my grandma had owned a PT Cruise at the time, the world's ugliest car, but she owned one of those at the time, and I would point it out every time I drove by, and everybody was so stunned that I was so young, and could tell the difference between this car, and this car.
Because you're a gifted child.
I was a gifted little child. But so, always in the back of my head, I would always wonder, it's like a non-car person, could they tell that car from that car from that car.
And see, like me growing up, I always played with like Matchbox cars and like Hot Wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't really know the types of cars until I got a little bit older. But like I would look at it and like I knew like that shape's a Mustang. I didn't know what year it was. I couldn't tell you that.
I'm always bad with the years.
I could always tell you at least like, hey, that's a Mustang. Hey, that's a...
Yeah.
And I remember like growing up being like, because I mean we grew up in the era of the early 2000s, so we had the early 2000s of Mustang, and like the Mustangs that were coming out when I was a little kid, they didn't even have 5.0s. They were the 4.6, the same engine in this.
Yeah, they were.
And that was their GT manual, was this engine. And I mean, there was changed obviously to fit the Mustang, but I mean, it's interesting to think the original GTs in the early 2000s and the late 90s, I think, were the 4.6, not a true 5.0.
Yeah. The one thing, I know I said earlier, I love being in control with a manual transmission. One thing I'm not okay with is the new 2020 GT500 is only coming automatic.
Yeah, I do feel like they are pulling a little bit out of the driving experience, but I do understand the reasoning behind it.
Everybody knows manual transmissions impress girls, automatics win races. Everybody knows that. You can't shift faster than a computer.
That's true, but again, it also depends on what type of automatic transmission. I feel like you could outshift an automatic transmission. You can't outshift an automatic dual clutch transmission. You'll never be able to outpower that thing.
Yeah.
And like I know that's what Cletus is running into, isn't it? Where he's running into the problem of I can't shift any faster. Like
with Leroy?
With Leroy. He can't shift any faster, and the only way he's going to be able to get, I feel like, a little bit faster times of the tracks where he's getting down is where he wants to be. Isn't he trying to get into the 5s and 4s?
No way. You can't make a manual transmission go down.
Exactly. He's going to have to switch
I'm saying that car will never be an automatic.
No, it's going to have to be a manual. Leroy's always going to be a manual.
Leroy's always going to be a manual. That's why he's building that new car with the Power Glide. But like I said, everybody knows automatics are quicker than manuals, but manuals are obviously a lot more fun.
Manual is putting you back into the driver's seat, whereas automatic is this vehicle's purposely built. I mean, think about it, like F1 cars, automatic.
Yeah, like the
NASCAR,
the Ferrari 360. Those F1 transmissions are fun to drive. I drove a 360 a couple years ago. Those are actually really fun to drive. Unpopular opinion though, paddle shifters are not manual.
I agree with that.
Paddle shifters are not manual. No, anybody who says paddle shifters are manual, I slap them.
You know what really pisses me off too? Is that Chevy did extra mile of making a 7-speed manual transmission, right?
They did. I forgot about that. The new C7s were 7-speed manuals.
And then them and Ford came together and they're like, here's what we're going to do. We're getting outperformed in transmissions by the other brands that are foreign. We need to come together and make a transmission together. And they made a 10-speed automatic transmission. And then the ZR1 came out and I was like, man, they better put that 10-speed in there because that's going to be crazy. They put it on the Mustang and it was fast as shit.
Yeah.
They better put it in the ZR1. And ZR1 came out and it was offered in the 7-speed manual or 8-speed automatic. And it was like, man, you could have put the 10-speed in there and we would have all been jumping up and down in joy. So do you think, bringing back to mid-engine, do you think the mid-engine is going to be the 10-speed automatic, or do you think it's going to be a dual-clutch transmission?
They're probably going to offer both.
Oh, see, I don't know, because if they already have the partner with the 10-speed, it would require them to make another partnership with a different brand in order to get the dual-clutch, which we have not seen.
Yeah.
But we do know it's going to have active aero, because we did see that Chevy put patents on active aeros.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. They would have to partner with a different brand to get a dual-clutch.
Yeah.
I think they might put that. I feel like that's why they didn't put the 10-speed in the ZR1, was because they were probably saving it and adapting it themselves for the mid-engine Corvette.
I just know that the 10 speeds, they were built to stay in the power band.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point of adding the gears.
So the difference between a 10-speed and a dual clutch, there are two different differences. One is more power band, one is quicker shifting. So it all depends on which way they want to go. Do they want to be more power or more like...
You want to put that power to the ground faster.
Yeah.
Is the point. And
response is what I'm looking, like the word I was looking for.
It's I don't know. It's going to be difficult to see. We're going to have to wait and see until the car comes out and all the data is released before we know this. Unfortunately, unless somebody else... 3 more months, something like that.
3 more months until Corvette's rent.
Unless somebody comes out and leaks more stuff, which I doubt we're gonna have more leaks.
Yeah, we're not gonna have more leaks.
But I mean, we'll see.
All right.
I have high hopes for the vehicle. As much as the disappointment's going to be to the American people, I'm excited for the
knowing Corvette, they're going to put out a badass car.
Not Corvette, Chevy. GM.
Oh, okay, GM. Knowing GM, they're going to put a badass car. It's just going to be kind of weird to see it mid-engined.
It's going to be sad to see it mid-engined.
All right, well.
Thank you for joining us for episode.
Tailgate Talks.
Episode 1 of Tailgate Talks. Hopefully we can do more of these. I like these. I like sitting down and talking with Vinny and other people. Maybe we'll bring more people up on the show. I'm sure we have a lot of people that have differing opinions than us. I don't know. Maybe you guys can drop some comments on what you guys would like to see us talk about next time. Yeah, definitely drop some comments.
Any ideas of what we should talk about next time? Any of your favorite cars? Also, one question to kind of end off the episode. Top 3 cars for your garage.
All right, I think I'd have to go with a Charger Hellcat.
Yeah.
I like to have in the 4-door. I'm a family car, but I could also go to the drag strip and kill anybody out there.
Good choice.
If I had to do a full setup, it would be a F-250, fully loaded, like, want leather, cooling and heating, seats. I want lift kit, I want tires.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to say like a ZR1 with the Sebring Orange and the ZTK package with that giant wing in the back.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to prove to everybody that I really have a tiny penis.
My 3, same as yours, but the Challenger Hellcat. Love me a 2-door. I love the 707 horsepower with the manual transmission. 03 Murcielago.
That's where you got me, really, 03.
I love the 03 Murcielago because the 2nd-gen Murcielago, they didn't do much with the body, but they took away the manual transmission.
You're right.
I love the gate. I love the sound of the V12 screaming, the little satisfying clicks.
Isn't it a gated?
It is a gated.
That's true. It's the last of the gated.
The gated manual. That was the last of it. Actually, the last of the gated manuals was the Ferrari 430.
And those were nice.
Those were nice. So the Hellcat, the Murcielago, and probably I have to go same as you with the F-250.
Really? You wouldn't go with a Cummins?
I'm not a big fan of the 5th-gen Cummins.
Really? How about, all right, let me ask you this. How about the Duramaxes?
Duramaxes are okay. On a scale, like rating trucks, Dodge obviously number 1 for me, then Ford, and then Chevy. I have nothing against Chevy. It's just
for me, it's just they killed it this year.
They did. They really did kill it.
They changed the body. It really killed it. If they stuck with the 2016 sort of body, that would be at the top of my list. But I feel like if we're going to go in order, I have to agree with putting Dodge at number 1. I would have to put Ford at the bottom, and that's only because they're using, they were the first to switch to aluminum, but they use the whole vehicle as aluminum, and it's just so expensive to fix if you get any dents. And like, these are work trucks. I mean, obviously I have the dent here. There's more dents than like, scratches on this truck. Yeah. And pulling a dent out in aluminum is 3 times as much as steel.
It is. It's a lot of money.
But in order for me, it would have to be Dodge, Chevy, and then Ford.
All right.
Unfortunately.
All right, well, thank you again for joining us for Tailgate Talks episode 1. We are definitely doing more of these. So drop some comments and ideas of what we should talk about next time. Maybe what would be your top 3 favorite cars in your garage. So, Spencer,
I think that's about it, boys.
That's all done. Thanks again.
Have a good one, guys. Yes?
I think at the end of the video, you should roll the bloopers.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
All right.